Look, grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking Well Show.
What's going on, guys? Rome of the Roamer here. I'm here with Ryan. Let's do a sound check real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Great, we're good to go. Ryan has already sold $1,000 on Amazon. This is his first month selling. It's day 30 now, and are you at 1,000? You were just telling me before the live stream you were getting close with refunds and stuff.
Yeah, I had like a $9 whatever refund earlier, which is like it was my first. So I was like, what the hell? I went back down, and but then I had something sell like 2 hours ago or whatnot. So it's like 1,012 or and change or something.
Gotcha. So how'd you get to 1,000 in sales? Like literally 30 days ago was when you first heard about selling books on Amazon. You probably watched one of Rakin's videos or something, or how'd that happen?
No, I watched both you guys, but before I dove into it, I don't know where it is. I was looking for it earlier. I think it's in the car, but a notebook and notes of, I didn't want to go out there. Like when I first started flipping stuff, thank you, Rakin, for having me buying meaningless stuffed animals and shit. But
fucking stuffed animals. What the fuck are you supposed to do with those?
He said they're profitable, man. But but I actually was like, I'm gonna do some research, and that's when when I said I fell asleep listening to the videos. Instead of like TV on in the background, I would have YouTube. I have the subscription where you can turn your phone screen off, and
100% worth it.
Oh yeah, and so once I knew I was gonna make mistakes, but I was like, you just gotta go do it, and that's when I saw, I didn't know much about FBA, but I knew it was the only way to go, just simply because I see merchant build as literally eBay. Just I feel like it's more complicated and messy when the customer is pissed. So I just went out and did it, and I think a lot of people probably struggle with actually just getting up and going and doing it. I think educating yourself and, listening to videos and watching, like, no disrespect to Reezy Resells, but like his videos are great, monotonous. Like I learned a lot, but like all book videos, watching just scan. You know what I mean? Like they're 15 minutes long. They're not the greatest, but you got to soak it in. And that's where I learned kind of, all right, now I'm going to go in. I got to figure out first I started with, all right, I started going in and I'm like, why am I being picky? I should be scanning just everything. And which is how I found that $250, like first edition, Sesame Street book or whatever.
Okay.
But I just went and did it, and you mentioned an idea of before with the a challenge you were thinking about and gathering a certain amount of books before you send them in.
Right.
We can come back to that. I actually changed I think initially I said my stance on that was like, because at the time I was sending everything in the next day. Gotcha. I think that was a mistake. Gotcha. But what got me into it was like the opportunity, and like flipping is it it gets old, you know what I mean? Like flipping stuff's cool, but the books is like, it's just a different, they're never gonna go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and they're small objects that it's scalable in the sense that you can gather a lot of these small objects. You can put systems in place to have the small objects listed on Amazon, and it doesn't take you don't have to develop an eye for the books. You have an app that tells you, is this book profitable or not? And then you can get someone else to go and scan for you. We were just talking about this before the live stream. You can get, people from their houses to scan the books, put the books in a box, put it on their front porch. You can drive around your neighborhood, pick up all the books. Everybody has them. They're everywhere. People are going to keep reading. It doesn't seem like there's a decrease in book sales. anytime soon. And
No.
maybe it's coronavirus right now, the time we're shooting this video. So who knows? Maybe people will stop reading books, but I don't think so.
I don't think. I mean, if you think about it, like if you Google or anyone look up right now the most successful people, like the traits that they all do, they all read. You know what I mean? Like that goes back forever. I don't think they're ever going to go away. And it, you know, when you first get into it, like, and you look at Seller Central and everything, it looks like holy hell. But I think, you know, I was one of those guys that at first I didn't watch the Seller University that much. It does help. It breaks stuff down.
What university?
Like, yeah, because like when you first see Seller, like it literally, you're like, holy hell! And before you know it, you're going back to YouTube to figure out how to ship shit. But there's so many things that they make it so simple at such a cheap price, like literally $8 and 49 pounds. To, you know, mine's not that far away, but it was like when I first went there, I'm like $8. Like it's a heavy ass box. But you know, I went in there, I just started scanning everything. The first mistake I made was, remember when I told you that I didn't even know that I was on your Instagram like post, not your story, but a guy locally messaged me about it, who I already, before I even got in contact with you, he knew about you. He's from PA also, and I saw he posted books, and I found out he's a reseller, and he's just getting rid of boxes of garbage. And so he, fuck was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought there.
He wasn't an Amazon seller, or what? He was an Amazon seller.
No, like I saw his post, like boxes, like huge boxes of books, $10. Then I realized that he was reselling. And then he texted me one day, and he's like, he messaged me on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, you're on Romer's page," and I'm like, "Fuck out of here, stop it." And I looked through the story, and I don't see it. And then hey, there's the book flipper. He said he can't find a link, but book flipper, man, Caleb.
He's looking for
a link. I told him to come chirp in the comments.
It's interesting. For some reason, it's letting me watch it on my YouTube. Like I just typed it in and I see it, but it says set reminder. It's like I don't see anyone coming in. It says one person's watching, and it's me. I'm the one person that's watching. I don't know why it's not going live.
Is it?
It says
do I need to have like a count or something? Or
no, this didn't happen. I literally just. You're about to view a broadcast on YouTube. It says, I don't know why this is happening.
Oh no, we're look. I can literally see us. Like we're.
I know, yeah, it's weird. It's just like it's not notifying people for some reason.
Look, I can literally see us. I can hear it. Yeah,
it's weird. It's just like it's not.
But basically, he. The first mistake I made was I didn't know of ScoutIQ at first, and I asked his, like, I didn't want to reach out to you yet, and I told him basically fucking what do you use? And at the time I found Profit Bandit. Like it's slower, but I like the way it looked, and I misread what he said to me, and I thought he said Scoutly. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try them all out. I hated that. And then ScoutIQ, with a little tinkering of Caleb's backswing, which he's very proud. You know, I helped him with his golf swing. And he's a great guy. He's been awesome.
Yeah, he is.
ScoutIQ is a game changer. He said he was going to send me like one of those leftover boxes with a scanner, but like ScoutIQ is brilliant. Like it literally, I would sit there once I figured out like Goodwill down the street is one of my first spots I go. I figured out, you know, I got a kid that I pay in the back room that I did that ever since I started flipping normal shit. And every time ink cartridges would come in, he would text me.
Nice.
So basically, yeah, he put stuff aside, and I figured out it's kind of like Salvation Army. I've never had any look at. It's been garbage, like at least the one here.
Yeah.
And something about this thrift store here, people don't spend time there. Like, people come, throw shit around, and it buries stuff. But just like, once I got over the fear of like, I was one of the people that read all the comments on your videos. Like, that's the first thing I think a lot of people do. And everyone says, like, I'm going to go do it. But then 3 weeks go by and no one does it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it takes a lot to, like, I don't give a damn what people think about me for the most part. You can't embarrass me. Well, it's hard. I think a lot of people are shocked, like, think it's weird when people see them scanning things. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, they got to get over the fact people don't care in there what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think people have a little bit of like stage fright doing that.
Right.
But
yeah, if you're first starting out, it's super weird. But like, dude, a couple months in, you do the weirdest shit. Like, you'll get down on like the bottom floor, like sideways, scanning shit, and you won't even think about it.
I dropped a brand new college musical book like under a shelf, and I was like, they came over like, "You okay?" And I'm like, I can almost reach it, and like I'm laying down on the floor, covered in dust, and I'm glad I did. But it's like. But also by doing that, you realize what else you do. Like, I was also, you see a book without a barcode, you're like, I'll come back to it. And I adapted your method of like stacking them. But I think most people probably skip that.
Yeah. What method are you talking about? Because I think I know what you're talking about.
If you're going through like and not cherry picking, and you get to a book and there's no barcode to scan, I think once they get comfortable scanning, they're probably skipping that at first, because I was. Yeah. People just won't admit it.
Talking about is like, when you scan a book and there's no barcode, take that book off the shelf. I put it down face up, and then I actually use the Amazon Seller app, and I'll scan the cover, and I'll blaze through them. So if I'm scanning a whole shelf of, I don't know, nonfiction textbooks, I'll pull all the textbooks that you can't scan the barcodes. I'll stack them all up. And when I'm done, I'm batching the processes together, because everything's always faster when you batch it. So I scan everything. That's the first batch. And then the non-barcodes are the second batched process. And I'll get the Amazon Seller app and scan everything through. And I'll just look for, like, if it's under 3 million rank, over $15, that for textbooks, that stands out to me, and I'll take it.
And those have actually been my best sellers, like, not even just textbooks. Like,
yeah,
at that price rank, I haven't changed the ScoutIQ. Like, even Caleb said, I asked, like, trigger wise, do you suggest? He said, I use the stock ones. That's what he said. And if that little thing goes off, and I mean, some of my highest, they weren't even just textbooks, like random physics, like synopsis of a dude. That's like a $40-$50 book. It's like a $3 million rank, 3 million rank.
Yeah.
Which I understand now a whole lot better after your one video. But which I'm curious. I don't want to get off on a different subject, but like when you said, if it's 1 million, it sells once a month. It's interesting, because I'm curious about that, or how accurate it is. I'm not saying you're wrong, but like,
well, I don't. The thing is, sales rank's not the best metric. If you look at sales rank, it's the not arbitrary, but it's a metric that Amazon assigns to the book, and it's always changing. So you look at a sales rank for a book right now as we're shooting this video, and the next hour, the next minute, it's going to change. Mm-hmm. A better metric's e-score. But I'll go back to rank real quick. A rank is literally Amazon's way of saying this is the 1000th best book. This is 1,000 book out of all the books on Amazon, this is number 1,000. That book tomorrow could be 2,000. That book the next day, if it sells a lot, it could be number one. It's always changing. With eScore, you get to see, okay, if the eScore is 100, that means the book has sold 100 times in the last 6 months. So the weird things that happen with sales rank, it's just where sales ranks is pretty good for the most part, like under 3 million. Most sales rank, like if you tell me a million ranked book, I'm like, okay, I get what that means. But if you tell me a 4 million ranked book, I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that means it sold 3 times last year or 3 times in the last 10 years. There's not really anything set in stone. So with sales rank, it can really, things get really weird once you get to that high rank range. There could be a 12 million rank book, and let's say someone buys it, and then you download the database right after someone bought that book. The sales rank's gonna drop to 100,000 when someone buys the book, no matter what. So it's gonna drop from 12 million all the way to 100,000 before you went out sourcing that day. If you downloaded the database, now you're going to see that book as a 100,000 sales rank. So that's why it's most books. I think I've heard that all books drop to at least 100,000 when they have a sale initially. And then depending on what the previous rank was, determines how quickly it climbs back up to its old rank. So if it's a 12,000 rank book, what you'll see if you look at Keeper graphs is it goes boom down, and then it starts to climb back up super fast. But if it's like a 3 million ranked book, it's going to go boom down and climb back up a little bit slower. So sales rank's weird. That's why eScore, when Caleb came up with the eScore for ScoutIQ, he said he felt like he was cheating because he would go out, he was testing it, and he would source, and he'd be like, holy shit, like this is an 8 million ranked book. Nobody's going to accept this book, but I see that it sold once last year and there's only 2 copies left. So I could sell this book for, if the book's going for like $500, I could sell for $500. Everybody else is going to leave that book on the shelf.
Is that how he sold that $1,000 book?
That was a book that a lot of people are gated in. What's the name of it? Something Margin. Margin of Error is the name of that book. But that book's historically been high, and it sells consistently. I never understood what eScore was like, and that's what I'm trying to educate myself more. Like, as far as like, I stopped. Like now, for some reason, it seems like weird sells. Like if something looks weird, it immediately catches my eye. I'm trying not to lose my place, like in where I'm at. But like if you just pay attention to detail, you see the same employees. Chances are, like, one of them on the right, like they come around with their cart and they drop the new ones on the far right bottom, literally not even on the shelf. The other one does it right next to the door on the left. So I figured out from your guys', I think it was you and Rakin, the color tag. I never noticed that before either. Yeah. When they pull the other ones out. So, but I, now I scan like hell, but then also how I got to, I was getting in the beginning, like I have books that are sitting there. I think my inventory is at like 250 right still. And because when I saw the 100 book, whatever, I was like, fuck that. I'm going to show these people 100 books. But you got to get 100 damn good, like 100 books that are going to sell. Like I studied finance, so I know how it works. And so I like kind of toned it back to realize that most people, hopefully they don't get out of this before it starts, but it takes, I've like literally I have 147,000 unread emails, and probably 10,000 of them are Amazon saying like, it takes like 3 weeks for them to unload your stuff. Like it takes time, and the more you build up, obviously the better, but I'd rather send in, and I want your opinion on this. If I had 3, 800,000 ranked $40 books, should I wait until I get 10 of them, or should I send those 3 in? Because I feel like I'm getting,
the price difference isn't that much, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like something's different there.
The price difference,
shipping wise, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm wasting
price
money.
difference is there. You want to get in the habit of not shipping stuff in until you fill up a box with at least 35 pounds. And this goes back to the batching issue. Like when you're scanning books on the shelf, you want to batch your process to where you scan all the barcode books first, and then batch your process to where you scan all the non-barcode books. You want to batch at the end of the week. You want to list all your books. I recommend hiring a lister as soon as possible. Train someone first, figure out how to do it yourself. I have manuals on how to do this that I include in my course. But I mean, come up with a system that works for you and then get someone else to do it. But when it comes to like the issue of, I get what you're saying. In like short term, it got Bumble matches coming on here. You know what Bumble is?
No. Oh yeah, hell yeah, come on, man.
Got banned from a while back. I was trying to source books off of Bumble.
That's amazing. I got banned for a different reason, but not in anything weird. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
But imagine being in quarantine. That's all you can do is swipe. But
yeah,
that's where I
wasting time when
I can honestly say, not to interrupt, I've only sent like, and I think other people who hear this, like that was like one of the top questions I wanted to ask you was about that, because I know I sent one
what's like
49-pound box in. Everything else, like I'd have 15, 20 books, and I'd be so pumped to get to the UPS store.
So the question is, you have 3 books, 800,000 ranked. They're a price of $40. Do you send them in now? I mean, it just like if you're quarantined off, and I mean, you can't even send shipments in now.
Well, not so much that. It's more of like when you said until you have 35 pounds, don't send them in.
Yeah, it's like the shipping rates are way cheaper. You get when you ship 35 pounds on average. For me, where I lived in Nashville, I was getting 20 cents a pound. That's where all my listers work. We get about 20 cents a pound as long as we hit that 35-pound threshold. If it goes below 35 pounds, the price per pound starts increasing. We start seeing $30 prices, $30 or 30 cent per pound prices. So we keep it at, I say 35. If you guys want to hit 35 pounds and close out the batch, that's fine, but try to get there at least. I used to tell them to get to 50 pounds, but what was happening is they were going over 50, and I was like, look, guys, like calm down, don't go over 45 now, because
they charge you, right? Yeah,
we got they give you a warning. I think they give you a warning like 1 or 2 times, and they charge you $50 and $75, and it goes up to 175. It's crazy. So we don't even try to get near 50 pounds anymore.
And I noticed that, because I'm like, I'd get home and like you see a couple say, like, I don't know if you were there when you first started, but like you wake up in the morning and you see a sale and you're like fucking pumped. Your first couple come in, and you go and like you find 15 good ones. And I was immediately sending them in, and then it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, it literally cost me. It's not that far away. I'm like, I sent a 49-pound box for $868 or something, but I just sent this 12 books for $670 something. Like, I'm literally wasting, like, and when some books like that are there, you're only making a couple bucks on, I'm wasting $2 right there on top of not having a printer yet, so I'm wasting 30 cents. On
that one's tough.
Do
you have a regular printer?
I got real mad in the Ohio State Michigan game last year, and the printer had to go.
Printer give you trouble before that? Was it just like something you were already pissed at? Fuck the printer. Or
when I was pacing, it was just right there.
Gotcha.
So it just
Wow. Are you Ohio State fan or?
No, I don't know if you can. Is that? Oh, that's Johnny.
You and Caleb would be really good friends.
It's Johnny Football.
He's a Michigan fan too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just know. Where you
from originally.
Oh, I got you. No, I'm a big Michigan guy, and the printer needed to die. But I feel like eventually people like ScoutIQ was once, Caleb hooked me up with that. I have only live only, but like Profit Bandit, I put at second. It's a distant second. ScoutIQ is live only is just because of certain things right now. Like,
Wait, so you're doing live only right now?
yeah, just because I mean, with my mom, things like that, it can be it's tight. You know what I mean? So it's like, and but then even doing live only, like I probably the one night I sent him a message and let me look at it. I scanned. It was a store that I knew that well, I thought I was going to come out with gold because my first 4 books were money, but then 897 books later in an hour, I only had 6. But with like Profit Bandit,
You scanned 897 books in an hour?
yeah, I was sweating. Like people were like, "Are you okay?"
That's impressive, dude. Live mode, no scanner.
No scanner,
Wow,
just flat out this.
that's impressive as hell.
But the yeah, I'm approaching like, but I've only had it for 2 weeks and been in quarantine at 5,000 scans already, and that's. But yeah, people were like, I brought water in, and but the with Profit Bandit, don't even waste your time, people, with any of those trials. I did. The only good thing about Scoutly is that you get the inventory thing.
What
You know what I mean? As far as like they give you like a database that when you scan a book, you can like click on it and it'll save it into like kind of like a spreadsheet.
That's
And
ScoutIQ has that now.
probably in your fancy
list. I have not used it because I used to travel the country and source. And back then, what I was doing is I was making my own buy list. After I got done scanning, I would have all my books in the car. I would scan the books into Google Keep, and then I would go into Starbucks, copy and paste the ISBNs into Excel list and list the books on Amazon. But they have a buy list now. I don't know how to use it, but
is that in your fancy mode only?
There's not fancy mode with ScoutIQ.
You're like 40 whatever, the non-live mode that has like better perks. I don't even know
the $44 a month that just gives you the database.
I don't even know what like these buttons on the bottom above on ScoutIQ, like the little. I don't even know what they do. I know what the scan button does. Like I don't know what any of it does.
Show it to me real quick.
I don't know. It's the these guys. Like,
okay.
Like I've never like clicked on them. Just because like if I need to look other stuff up, I know where to go. But like on ScoutIQ's website, like that's where if you go to, because Scoutly's inventory labs, they're linked together. And that's about the only good thing about that.
Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up a screenshot of ScoutIQ so I can explain to you what some of those things mean. Because you're going to want to know all that. See if I can just find a generic picture on Google.
Hopefully, and honestly, people that are listening, hopefully they go out there and like to each everyone likes their own thing, but the speed of ScoutIQ is unreal. Like I hope he's making a fortune and flies us all out to Colorado, and we do a whole bunch of crazy shit because that app is amazing.
Yeah, and side note, man, you're just using live mode right now, which is like way slower compared to database mode. You must have pretty good Wi-Fi or pretty good cellular data if you're scanning 897 books per hour. That's really that's good for database mode. But database mode is going to allow you to scan a book and it's going to make a decision instantly. Whereas with live mode, it has to talk to Amazon first before it makes a decision. So it's like probably takes about 2 seconds on average with live mode. And with database mode, it takes a quarter of a second. So that sounds arbitrary, but after you scan 1,000 books, 1 second turns 1 second over the course of an hour per book. When you change that to 2 seconds per book, you scan half as many books in that hour. Or in the whole hour, if you want to scan all the same books, it's going to take you 2 hours to scan all the books that it would have taken you an hour to scan. So that's a way to look at it.
With like Profit Bandit, which I said is second, no, actually I don't even care if they're listening. They're by far the second best, but that 897 would have been 400 without a doubt, because it's like 6 second delay, but okay, gotcha. Yeah, I see that there.
All right, so can you see this clear enough to understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so this bottom right, if you click on that, that'll pull up Amazon.com. So if you ever want to know what the actual offers are, Amazon.com is always going to be your most accurate. Mm-hmm. Amazon's going to obviously have all the data. These third-party apps, regardless of ScoutIQ, if it's Scoutly, if it's Profit Bandit, they're only going to have access to the lowest 15 offers because that's all Amazon's API. That's a term for some software shit of how much they allow you to see. They only allow you to see the lowest 15 offers. So that's why a lot of times this second column, do you know what these columns mean right here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the one new. There's FBA on the right.
There's new and there's used and there's FBA. So a lot of times this FBA column is blank, even though there's like a ton of FBA offers. These third-party apps just can't see those offers. So that's why it's blank a lot of times. The buy box, this is what the buy box is, which is like the offer that's on the front of the Amazon page. And then these right here are the lowest used offers. So these are always available because Amazon allows us to see that. Here's the sales rank, e-score, trade-in value, how much is Amazon going to buy it for, and then the profit here. And then this one here is Book Scouter, the stack of books. Mm-hmm. If you click on Book Scouter,
I've seen that. Is that the best one of all those ones that'll buy, like, if no one else wants it?
They show you all of them. So it'll show you. Book Scouter is like a website that shows you all the different vendors. So
I have that app.
Choose. Let's type in one Fahrenheit 451. Let's see what it's going for. So right now, during the quarantine epidemic, what is this? Is that
180?
186 is what Textbook Recycling is paying. Sell Back Your Book is going to buy it for 69 cents. Sell Back Books. Holy shit. Sell Back Books is a thing? I've never heard of Sell Back Books.
I don't know. But now,
Sell Back Your Book.
And I've seen that. I've never sent anything to them or plan on it. But like,
there's Sell Back. They got competition. That's like, I made restrictedinventory.com and like 5 other guys popped up out of nowhere. That's funny. Sell Back Books is, I wonder how old they are or if they just came up.
I will, as your habitual DMer, I'll get that info for you and I'll find out for you. But like, here's my question though. Like, as far as you scan something, it goes beep, you put it in the cart. When you go to list it, if you say buy box price $24.99, 200,000 whatever ranking, are you, just because you drop the price lower, are you better off just listing it at buy box price and letting it sit? Or if someone comes in at $21.99, does buy box adjust to that?
So you're listing the book. Buy box is $24.99.
Yeah, that's what it. ScoutIQ.
What's the rank of the book?
We'll say 500,000 or something.
Okay. You're asking what if the buy box is currently lower right now?
No, I'm saying what if it's higher? Like if someone, say you have a book it's your book that's $24.99. Mm-hmm. I see that and I want to list it for $21.99. Does that make the buy box $21.99?
Yes, the buy box is always going to go to the lowest FBA offer. So there's no point in undercutting them that much. If you want to undercut them, just undercut them by a penny. If you undercut them by a penny, you're going to get the buy box. You're likely going to set off their repricer, because like I was saying earlier, a lot of these third-party apps, as far as FBA data goes, they only have access to the buy box as a metric for FBA data. They don't have access to any other FBA offers. So the difference between you undercutting them at $24.98 versus staying at $24.99, if you undercut them at $24.98, their repricer is going to see a change and it's going to trigger it.
And a lot of them are set to
you come in at
reset.
$24.99, you're going to share the buy box and you're going to rotate back and forth with them. The other person's repricer is going to have no idea that you're on the listing either, and the price of the book's not going to tank. So I recommend always matching buy box, unless you're just really desperate to get the sale. But even then, it might actually make it worse for you, because if you undercut them and their repricer is programmed to undercut you, it's going to just cause like a cascade effect.
I literally reprice manually right now.
Book flipper in the house. He says, "What's up, Ryan?"
What's up, man? How's that takeaway?
He's a Michigan State fan too, Caleb.
No.
Not Michigan State. All right, I screwed something up. Not a sports guy.
Get rid of the state. Get rid of the state.
Michigan fan.
Thank you.
I think Caleb's a Michigan State fan.
Oh shit! That might have just tanked everything. I might get out of the book business.
Oh, you guys are both Michigan something fans, though. So you guys have that in common. Both the teams begin with M.
But as far as like this shit's driving me crazy. But as far as the I think honestly it's best to and I think people like learning from me, not like saying I'm fucking a genius, but like I'm doing it in a certain situation that everyone doesn't need to know about, but you do, on when things are tight, you know what I mean? And basically building it from your videos, Reagan's videos, and with a phone and literally a idea of better times. And, as far as every free trial, I tried them all. Book flipper extended me. I appreciate you. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like I just literally built it into $1,000 with putting nothing but going. And
I will say this, like, if money's super tight for you, there's so many ways to get free books, and inventory costs can get really pricey, because $1 per book quickly turns into $1,000 when you buy 1,000 books. And that's going to be tomorrow. You're going to be buying a ton of books pretty soon. So if you can get free books on Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, Craigslist, those right there, put an ad out on Craigslist. I have a virtual assistant that makes an ad every single day. Even here in Miami, we put ads out. I don't even go sourcing anymore because I'm so busy with getting inventory sent to me with restrictedinventory.com and other business models that I'm pursuing, like with colleges where they pack books up and ship them to me. We still go ahead and we put ads out on Craigslist, because who knows? What if someone reaches out to me and they're like, I have 200 textbooks? That's huge.
Yeah. No, and that's it's not, and it's almost not like for anyone, it's like super typing. Like that's when they can, go, for those people, go on the days where they all have them, where it's half off, books are 49 cents or whatever. But it's more of the unknown. That's, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm scared, I'm being conservative. Trust me, there's been hauls that I've wanted to buy that were $1,000 that turn into $5. But in the couple months between there, I don't, the unknown in the next couple weeks, it could be a lot different.
It's another big thing, man. You could propose to the thrift store, like you're articulate. So you could say, hey, look, I'll take these books. I'll sell them for you at a 50-50 profit, 50-50 split net profits. And then you make a unique SKU for the store, Goodwill, south side of town. That's a SKU. And you list 100 books for them. And then starting out, since you don't have enough money to buy, there's $170 tracking spreadsheet I use that like automatically does everything for me. But starting out, you could just go on Seller Central, type in that name of the SKU, see how many sold, each month go write them a check, be like, here's $35. They're going to trust you more. When they get more inventory, they're going to call you first. Consignment's great. You can do consignment for your friends, family, neighbors, thrift stores, libraries, colleges, students, other resellers. Like there's so much opportunity out there. And it's for people without money, and even for people like just for me trying to scale, it's like it's not super feasible to spend $1 per book.
Yeah.
That's really cheap at the very beginning, but as you scale, $1 per book, when you start selling thousands of books, it's like, okay, now I'm going to start spending thousands of dollars. That's what happened to me last year. I did a $1,000 challenge. Each month I was sourcing 1,000 books, and I was like, oh, this is great. I hit 1,000 books the first month. And then I had a $500,000 sales goal, and I was like, that's not going to work because I need to start sourcing like 2,000 or 3,000 books a month at an ASP of $24 in order to hit my goal.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that money in my bank account. So I would go out to these thrift stores and I was like, shit, like, what am I going to do now? So then I started sourcing. I actually started doing more consignment deals, liquidation deals with like networking with the reselling community. I found out about liquidation deals. And I would go to these deals with other resellers that were way ahead of me, and we would do consignment. I would do all the work. I'll do everything for you. I don't have any money. I'll do everything for you. And I'll give you 60% of the profits. And that's what I was doing for a while. So get creative, man.
Yeah. No, and I know you have
just do thrift stores. Like do everything. And a lot of times, like getting the free books and getting the consignment books, just because you pay for a book doesn't make the book better. It just means you paid for the book. Oh yeah.
And there's a bunch, we all have them laying around where you shouldn't pay for it. But I know you have your 8 o'clock thing.
It is 7:55. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but if you have a few minutes after that, shoot me a text. I have a couple things to run by you.
Great, yeah. And I would like to kind of pick your brain a little bit more because I'm going to be offering a 7-day challenge for those of you that are listening. And I know I talked to you about this, but it's going to be a challenge where first you have to go out, you have to source X amount of books. I'll walk you through exactly how to do that with the techniques we just mentioned. It's not rocket science, but the 7-day challenge, it's going to be like $7 or something super cheap. And I'm going to walk you through how to get the books. The next step is going to be, but it's a challenge. So you can't move on to step 2 until you've done step 1. Step 1 is you have to get, I don't know, I'm thinking 300 books is the number on my mind, but I might drop it. But you have
I like that number because that's what my $1,000.
Gotcha.
With my set, like 1,012 on 56 orders, and I still have like 250 in there. That's right around 3. So I like that. I like the 300 number.
Okay. So they hit 300. The next step is I'll walk them through exactly how to ship the books, and we're going to use Acceleralist just because, like, if you want to scale this, you got to have a listing software. I know people who have been in the business for 5 years without a listing software. And as soon as I told them about the listing software and really explained it to them, like they switched over, but they were making it work. He was doing 60,000 a month without it. He was doing better than I was at the time. But I was like, look, dude, like you're a fucking idiot. Like you're doing a lot of stuff really good. But he had money too. He just didn't want to, he was like, there's some people like this where they just don't want to spend $1 on anything, even though they have money. They don't want to throw it. And I was like, dude, like Acceleralist is going to save you so much time. And it's not just like Acceleralist, it's any third-party app because Seller Central sucks listing on there. So that's step number 2 is list the books. Step number 3 is reprice the books. And I want people to have the experience you did, even more so to where they hit like, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in sales their first month. And out of that, you're probably pocketing like what, 30%, 300-400, maybe more.
Yeah, roughly.
You might be doing more just because like you're doing it very frugally right now. But as you scale, that profit margin is going to drop to about 30-40%. And then as you hire employees, it's going to drop to 10-20%.
Or just work for you.
Hey, let me know, man. I actually do need some help, but
I know I saw that. But you got 2 minutes before you're
I'm gonna contact my team, but I appreciate you, man. Everyone watching this, like, comment, subscribe. Let's try and mess around a little bit. This video was sponsored by
Grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking Well Show.
restrictedinventory.com, baby.
I was confused as shit for a second.
Yeah. Did you hear the music? There's
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to. You're not a social media guy, are you?
Yeah. I mean, now I'm Instagram because I check all your shit. That sounds weird, but
Do you want a shout out?
yeah, man.
Actually,
Hell,
his Instagram is how you. What's your Instagram handle?
I think it's RB Pro Golf.
You think it's RP? Side note, I was showing this on the show last night. Go to your Discover page and go to anyone's Discover page and you can see their true colors. You can see what kind of human being they are.
Oh,
And
gee.
right there, that's the type of human being I am. Bachata music, she's fucking gorgeous. And booty, that's what's going on right now. I gotta hop on this call though, but let's give you a shout out real quick. It's what is it?
B is in
RB. It's RB Pro Golf. RB
Yes.
Pro Golf. So right there, and yeah, he's legit. And I only see it going uphill from here, man, because I see Gary V on your page. So
Oh yeah. Wait, hold that back. Oh yeah, that says professional golfer Mill Thunder.
on my page. Uh-oh. All right, brother. I'm gonna hop on my Skype call with my team, but I appreciate you, man.
You too, man. I'll do it again soon.
I'll call you after my team call.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Peace out.